Bonnie often visits Peter's house. One day, after Bonnie left, Lois found that her son had turned into a stool. At the same time, another classic scene was born in this episode. Today is Peter and Lois' wedding anniversary. Mother-in-law Babs threw them a grand party. As the richest family in Rhode Island, only those with local prestige could attend the party. However, Peter was a bit absent-minded. At the moment, he only cared about what gift his wealthy father-in-law would give them. Soon it was time for the gift giving. Carter and Babs put a lot of thought into preparing the gift. Finally, they gave them a brand new Jaguar Roadster. Carter felt very guilty about this, but Lois didn't care about the price of the gift. She thought Stewie would really like this toy. As she expected, Stewie loved the car as soon as he saw it. As the saying goes, a car is a man's second partner. Stewie immediately decided that he would love it forever. From then on, Stewie drove the Roadster out for a ride every day. This expensive toy brought him an unparalleled sense of satisfaction. Every time he saw Brian, he had to show off. Currently, Stewie and the Roadster are in the honeymoon period. He wishes he could sleep with the car in his arms every day. However, being a car owner also comes with many troubles. One day, Brian was drinking in the bar until the early morning again. If it were usual, he would definitely risk driving under the influence. Fortunately, Stewie had a car. He could just make a phone call and get home safely. Although Stewie was extremely unhappy because his sleep was disturbed, as a car owner, he had to fulfill this obligation as a friend. Brian drank a particularly large amount tonight. He almost threw up as soon as he got in the car. Stewie quickly took out a yogurt container and asked Brian to vomit into it. Fortunately, Brian held it in. He took a short rest on the side of the road and felt better.
You good? Yeah, sorry for a second. No, with the yogurt, come Brian!
The next day, Stewie got up very early. It took him over an hour to clean up the vomit in the car. Chris came up and took a sniff. He could still smell a mixture of vomit and alcohol.
Stupid dog!
Chris thought that Stewie had become unhappy since he got this car. Stewie was about to admit it, but for the sake of his pride, he still said that it was better to have a car than not to have one. Although he had to look for a parking space every time he went out, and always had to worry about the luxury car being scratched by others. Before he could finish speaking, his phone rang. Brian asked him to help buy a box of stomach medicine at the pharmacy. Although Stewie was reluctant, as a car owner, he had to take on the responsibility of taking care of his friend. At this moment, Stewie could no longer find the joy of driving. He originally wanted to stop by the supermarket to buy an ice cream, but gave up the idea because he was worried about not being able to find a parking space. Looking at the children riding tricycles on the side of the road, Stewie actually envied their carefreeness. Suddenly, he had a car accident. This accident sounded the alarm for Stewie. Driving was not as wonderful as he had imagined. He almost lost Rupert because of it. This Roadster would only bring him endless trouble. It was time to solve this problem. Subsequently, Stewie filed an insurance claim. He claimed that he had just parked the car on the side of the road, and when he came back, the car was gone. But the insurance adjuster checked the surveillance. The actual situation was that Stewie had poured gasoline on the car and burned it.